709. Just a terrible crash on the E60 this morning in Monterey Park as traffic is a standstill. Let's get the very latest right now from KNX 1070 traffic anchor Desmond Shaw.
Yeah, that's going to be the eastbound side of the 60 just before Atlantic. We saw this dramatic wreck, one of the most dramatic ones I've seen in quite some time, with two vehicles that were engulfed in flames, and one of those vehicles was sheared in half. And I suspect that is where, sadly, somebody was killed in this wreck. And I had a call from a tipster who saw this essentially happen. He said that vehicle's hood flew up while he was driving, and then that person stopped in lanes. The person I spoke with barely avoided them. Obviously, the next person did not, and so we saw injuries with one car, and then someone killed in another vehicle. And both those vehicles had been engulfed in flames, and one of the charred husks still sitting there on the freeway. And the investigation continues with major traffic implications, and we'll get to that soon. Live in the traffic center, Desmond Shaw, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Yeah, also in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard, that's going to be a mess for about a week. Let's go live overhead. KNX 1070's Jeff Ball.
Indeed, time for us to show off a little bit. 87th Academy Awards, this year's theme, Imagine What's Possible. Pretty good for movies. And first-time host, Neil Patrick Harris and company, I'm sure. Now, if you're new to L.A., and particularly Hollywood, this becomes quite a problem. Hollywood Boulevard completely shut down in between Highland and Orange, and south of that, Hawthorne Avenue would be the same thing. So this really presents big problems. If you're a limo driver, you make sure you check in with our KNX traffic reports, and we will get you through. It's really going to be something here. Over Hollywood Boulevard, Jeff Ball, KNX 1070 News Radio.
They should put a sign out there, Hollywood saying, imagine what's not possible.
There you go.
We're there. By the way, our Oscar coverage starts at 4 o'clock on Sunday.
You know,
Don't even start.
We've been doing 2 every day,
Yes.
so the numbers are a lot higher. 31 for the guys, 28 for the girls. So
Not
the guys
bad.
are up. Guys are up.
Yeah, but we're right behind you.
Girls won last year. 2015 is the year of the men, though.
We're going for it. No, we're going to win again.
So 866-544-MyFM if you would like that. Music from Justin Timberlake and Sam Smith, both on the way.
Valentine in the morning.
1043. Association said to be stuck now on the issue of arbitrators who help to settle disputes here at the docks and the rules that govern their removal. President Obama sent in Labor Secretary Tom Perez to help broker an end to this ordeal. It's been impacting everything from agriculture deliveries to cars. Honda even saying it plans to slow production now at its North American plants because they can't get the parts they need from Asia. We have reached out to both sides and have been told they are under mutual orders by the federal mediator to not discuss the matter until tomorrow at the earliest. Live in the ports, Margaret Carrero, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Man and woman shot to death near Stevenson Ranch in Santa Clarita. The investigators say this was murder-suicide.
The shots fired call came into the Santa Clarita Sheriff's Station just before 9 o'clock on Sunday night, and deputies moved into the shopping plaza at Pico Canyon Road and the Old Road just off Interstate 5. In front of a FedEx office, they found the bodies of a man and a woman both shot to death. Investigators confirmed the couple was married and indicated they came to the business in separate cars. The shooting happened after they left the business. The husband shooting the wife, then taking his own life. A handgun was recovered at the scene. The names of the couple have not been released, pending notification of next of kin. In Santa Clarita, Pete Demetrio, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Concern is growing after the disappearance of a 16-year-old Chinese student who was here with his mom checking out colleges in the Claremont area. Jason Walters is with Claremont PD and says there's a lot, really, that they don't know.
It appears he walked away voluntarily. It didn't look like there were any signs of foul play.
Boy's mom says he's a good kid, no reason to run away, not troubled or anything. His credit cards haven't been used. His phone appears to be turned off. There's video and photos on our website this morning. That's CBSLA.com.
And the current measles outbreak is leading to a lot of talk and debate about vaccinations, and now a growing focus on school teachers and staff members, for the most part, not required to be vaccinated. But at a Marietta high school last month, a couple of dozen employees had to prove they were vaccinated or immune or stay home after an employee likely came down with the virus. And by the way, tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, our KNX Spotlight, the vaccine dilemma, panel of health experts to take your calls and tweets. That's tomorrow morning from 10 until 11 o'clock.
KNX News Time 714.
Let's update what's happening in the money news for you right now. Our portion of the news brought to you by Community Bank. And sorry, we don't take the American Express at Costco.
American Express and Costco Wholesale Group are getting a divorce. Reporter Elizabeth Dexheimer.
Starting next year, they will be ending their co-brand credit card relationship, as well as the relationship they had that made them the exclusive credit card that was used at the store.
The loss of the U.S. Costco business accounts for about 20% of Amex's loans and 10% of its cards business.
Berkshire Hathaway is the biggest shareholder in American Express, so it's definitely a divorce, so to speak, from those two companies.
The New York-based lender says Amex will expand other parts of the business while spending money on marketing and rewards programs to convince Costco shoppers to keep using its card at other stores.
This is a big deal. Shares are down. This is going to have, put pressure on earnings this year.
According to Costco, the decision to cut ties with Amex came down to saving money for its customers. From Bloomberg Business, I'm Michael Barr for KNX 1070 News Radio.
At the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event, you can have everything but time. With great offers on the ES and CT Hybrid and more new models than ever, like the NX Turbo and RC Coupe, but only until March 31st. Lease the 2015 CT 200H for $299 a month for 36 months, with $999 due at signing. See your Southern California Lexus dealer.
Call 1-800-USA-LEXUS for important lease offer and pricing details. Not all customers will qualify. Offer valid in a Lexus Western area only.
KNX News Time 7:15. Traffic and weather together on the 5s is brought to you by Subaru of Santa Monica, and here is Desmond.
And we are still talking about the big cigarette of the morning that sadly saw someone killed on the eastbound side of the 60. This is just before Atlantic, where you're only getting by in the far right lane and that far right collector lane that ends at Atlantic. So we're seeing it stop and stop back from before the 710, awfully heavy there. And westbound, a little bit of spectator slowing as well. And it's also affecting northbound 710, almost back from the 5 freeway. So if you can get off of the 710 there at Olympic and head over to Atlantic, that's where you want to hook up with the 60 freeway, and you will definitely save quite a bit of time. Same goes for your southbound 710. I would exit at East Cesar Chavez and take that east, and once again, you can reconnect. You can get up with the 60 freeway there. At Atlantic, more on this one coming up. And now let's check in with Jeff Baugh, KNX 1070, once again updating our situation with the Oscars.
You betcha. Probably a good way to ease into this situation. Be holiday light today, but the Highland off from the southbound Hollywood freeway usually jams up when this happens, but right now it's in okay shape. But just a reminder now, Hollywood Boulevard, Highland to Orange, right now it'll be that way. When we get closer to the Oscar, it'll probably extend somewhat, and also Hawthorne Avenue just south of Hollywood Boulevard.
Now, Scott Burt's been trying to navigate around the cloud cover out there, so he headed out towards the Inland Empire. Scotty, what freeway are you looking at?
We're over the 210 and the 15 right now, and haven't seen any slowing here. 210 looking great, 15 all the way over towards 57, and earlier 210 westbound was looking good out of Glendora, heading out through the 605.
Traffic and weather together on the 5s. Next reports at 7:25 from your Southern California traffic leader, KNX 1070 and CBSLA.com.
Back into the 70s across most of Southern California for today. Once the wind begins to take out some of these clouds that we see, we should see those partly sunny skies. The beaches still might see some clouds later on into the afternoon. Right now, downtown LA has 54 degrees.
And Jeff Baugh just talking about the street closures that are already happening in Hollywood ahead of the Oscars on Sunday, and he just sent us a nice pic of Hollywood this morning. Says the security tent's already up with Hollywood shut down, and I'm going to tweet that out. Vicky, more news if you want to check it out.
If you're searching for any appliance repairs, visit myapplianceservice.com.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru. Get big savings during the Subaru True Love event at Subaru of Santa Monica.
Hi, this is Ron Davis, owner of Subaru of Santa Monica. We invite you to come in and see the difference today.
Subaru of Santa Monica! Savings specials online at SubaruSantaMonica.com. Offer ends February 28th.
Don't spend another year being uncomfortable in your own home. Home Comfort USA has a solution for all your heating and air conditioning needs, with new complete systems to fit any budget. Home Comfort USA. Now with 5 years no interest or payments as low as $99 a month. Call the Comfort Guy. We're there. Home Comfort USA. Call 888-287-8254. 888-287-8254. DLSB number 974-908.
I got pulled over recently. I was going the speed limit. The officer just wanted to compliment me on my driving. And the top 5 reasons to go to Morongo this week. Number 5.
Laugh, chuckle, giggle, whatever you call it, do it at Morongo. Comedian Miss Pat performs live this Friday, featuring opening act Patrick King.
Number 4.
Fame and fortune await with our $200,000 Morongo with celebrity match and win.
3.
Watch highly trained warriors battle in the ring during Full Rules WCK Muay Thai, Saturday the 28th. Get your tickets now.
Number 2.
Test off all those lucky numbers because roulette is back at Morongo.
And the number 1 reason to go to Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
Celebrate good fortune during the Chinese New Year. On Monday, February 23rd, we'll have authentic dragon dancers, dining specials, and a $50,000 good fortune giveaway.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa, conveniently located on the I-10, less than 90 minutes from wherever you are. Morongo, good times.
Listening to Alexander Desplot's Academy Award-nominated score for the film The Imitation Game.
What is it that we're doing?
We're going to break an unbreakable Nazi code and win the war.
Oh,
critics are hailing it as the best movie of the year.
This morning, I was on a train that went through a city that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for you.
With a propulsive score by the brilliant and versatile Alexander Desplat, raised Leonard Maltin. And now, it's been nominated for 8 Academy Awards, including Best Actor Benedict Cumberbatch.
You will never understand what I am creating here.
Best Supporting Actress Keira Knightley.
The world is an infinitely better place because of you.
Best Director Morton Tildum. Best Adapted Screenplay. Best Original Score. And Best Picture of the Year.
Sometimes it's the people who no one imagines anything of.
Who do things that no one can imagine.
The Imitation Game, rated PG-13, may be inappropriate for children under 13. Now playing.
KNX News Time 720 got a traffic problem. We break in when we got them. This is Sepulveda over near the airport. Desmond Shaw, what is it?
Yeah, and thanks to Tipster Mike, Big Mike just let me know about this. We have both lanes blocked, both sides of Sepulveda as you head towards LAX, essentially between Imperial Highway and Century Boulevard, and it is just a brutal drive. Big Mike says definitely need to stay off Sepulveda, especially northbound. I see it jammed up coming off the 105. Use Aviation and Century instead.
All right, we'll keep you up to date on that. KNX News Time is 7:20. It's updating sports news for you, brought to you by your SoCal BMW Centers. Anaheim Ducks sliding down the West Standings. Here's Randy.
Doesn't seem that long ago the Ducks had the best record in hockey, but not anymore.
Had it caught up and escaped 2-on-1. Ovechkin, Burakovsky, Ovechkin in front, Burakovsky, deep, scores! Second goal of the game.
Wow, that guy sure sounded like Nick Nixon, because it was Nick Nixon, the Kings radio announcer, filling in on Capitals TV last night because their guy, Joe Benignati, had laryngitis. Nixon to the rescue, and Washington beat the Ducks 5-3. Anaheim now third in the West, behind Nashville and St. Louis. Western Conference beat the Eastern Conference 163-158 in the 65th NBA All-Star Game. How about Russell Westbrook, the UCLA alum, 41 points. He gets MVP honors. Also getting some credit, Chris Paul, the West's only double-double guy, 12 points, 15 assists. Sports, 20 and 50 minutes past each hour. Randy Cardoon, KNX 1070 News Radio.
There's a way to enjoy less every day. In the all-new, all-electric BMW i3, you can enjoy less every time you drive. Fully charged in about 3.5 hours, you'll enjoy less charging time. And with up to 81 miles per charge, you'll enjoy less charging sessions. You'll enjoy less stops at the gas station because you won't stop for gas. With its agile handling, you'll enjoy a less boring commute. You'll even enjoy less maintenance costs, since BMW Ultimate Service is no cost for up to 4 years or 50,000 miles. And with lower carbon emissions, you'll enjoy making less of an impression on the Earth, unless you're counting tire tracks. Hurry into your local BMW center and test drive the all-electric BMW i3, winner of the 2014 World Green Car and World Car Design of the Year awards. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. For maintenance terms and conditions, see BMWUSA.com/ultimate service. 81-mile range based on EPA test results.
Hurry into a Southern California BMW center today for attractive lease and finance offers available on the all-electric BMW i3. Visit SoCalBMW.com for details.
KNX News Time 723.
So that situation on the 60 this morning, you've heard Desmond talking about this all morning. The accident, a hood of a car flew up, and then that car tried to pull off to the side, but got hit by another, according to the information we now have. John McElroy is with the auto information website Autoline.tv. John, this is, again, just a horrible situation because you're just driving down the road, maybe you're doing 60 mile an hour or something like that, and all of a sudden the hood comes up, and you don't know what to do.
It's enough to freak you out. It's a very, very scary situation because you're right. Now you can't see anything that's going on. These hood flyings up are, fairly rare, but it happens, and it's been happening for ever since they put hoods on cars. Typically what happens is somebody doesn't properly close it, or maybe with an older car, the latch is not properly lubricated and really doesn't shut as it should. And hoods typically have 2 latches on them, but if one doesn't take and maybe you hit a big pothole, boom, it can fly up, and boy, that's one of the scariest things. I've never had it happen to me, but I have seen it happen on the road.
Yeah, I think we all have. I've seen it happen before, but in this particular case, obviously, somebody died as a result of this particular accident. And again, as you well point out, and I think this is something people might want to check on, particularly if you're driving an older car, make sure that second latch, so the one that you have to get your hand underneath and physically pop up yourself, actually closes when you put the hood down.
Exactly. In fact, that's why you'll see mechanics slam the hood down to make sure everything really closes the way it should. if it ever does happen to you, you know, the key thing is to try not to panic, which is very hard to do. And then try to not slam on the brakes, but just back off the gas and use your mirrors to try to get to the side of the road. But, boy, you know, it's easy enough to say, here's the advice of what to do. It's hard to pull it off.
Yeah, of course, on the freeways here in Southern California, there's stuff flying off vehicles in front of you all the time anyway. You know, anywhere from garbage cans to couches to who knows whatever. You know, so I guess it brings out the point you always have to be aware of what you're doing and what's happening right in front of you.
Well, you know, I learned it in driver's ed many, many years ago. Look up and get the big picture. Don't just look at the car in front of you. Look down the road and see what's happening.
Yeah, good enough. All right, that is from John McElroy there at Autoline.com TV, or Autoline.tv. And as long as we're talking about this, let's get back out to it, because this has created quite a bad situation for a lot of motorists on the 60. Brought to you now by your Southern California BMW Centers. Here is Desmond.
Yeah, it was such a crazy wreck, too, of the way it all happened. I mean, you just heard some of the details there, and then we saw one of those vehicles get sheared in half by another vehicle, and both vehicles involved burst into flames. Other people were injured in this as well, besides the fatality that occurred eastbound on the 60 before Atlantic, where you're only getting by in the right lane and that far right collector lane that exits at Atlantic. It is still stop and stop now back through the 60 from the eastern overcrossing. So if you can exit the freeway down your road, use 3rd Street, and then get back on the freeway at Atlantic, should save you a couple of minutes. Looks like most of the spectator slowing has dissipated on the westbound side, but it's still affecting your 710 freeway very heavily now back from the 5. It's arguably actually even worse than what's on the 60. So coming off the 710, exit Atlantic, Bandini, or Olympic, and take that over to the Atlantic on-ramp to the eastbound 60, and definitely salvage your holiday morning. Let's check in now with Jeff Bogg, KNXR 1070, taking a nice long north-south look at the 5 and the 170.
Boy, you betcha. Traffic and weather, a whole different story here, and it's all good. Coming out of the Newhall Pass, everything is good down to the 118. South 5 stays that way, down to the infamous split at the 170. If you choose the 170, it's all clear, even up and over the hill to downtown Los Angeles. Things are great.
Scott Bird trying to avoid the clouds. His flight has taken him out to the 210 freeway, and let's take a look now in the IE with him. Okay. Unfortunately, looks like Scotty's so far out there, he doesn't have a very good signal, so he'll head back westbound for you, but I do believe he had some pretty good news there on the 210. Doesn't look like too much is going to slow you down out there. Hurry into the BMW Certified Pre-Owned Elite Sales Event. Get 0.9% APR plus a one-payment credit on most 2014 Certified Pre-Owned Elite models. Visit SoCalBMW.com/CPO today for details. Traffic and weather together on the 5s. Next report 7:35 from your Southern California traffic leader, KNX 1070 and CBSLA.com.
And again, as far as the forecast is concerned here in Los Angeles today, not a bad day at all. There are still some low clouds around the area, maybe a little fog lingering along the beaches until mid-afternoon, we're being told from the National Weather Service, and also from Evelyn Taft over at CBS2. Temps today should be in the upper 60s downtown, the 70s at the valleys, and then along the beaches as a result of the clouds that might be lingering there for the better part of the day. Look for only some upper 60s. Right now, downtown Los Angeles has 54 degrees.
With house prices rising, there's a good chance your home could be building up value right now. And the best way to find out your home's true worth is with a free appraisal from Greenlight Loans. So call Greenlight today at 866-66-FASTER to find out. Then unlock that value by refinancing at a low rate, like today's 15-year fixed at 2.875%, 3.096 APR. At Greenlight Loans, we've built our business on offering free appraisals, no application fees, and no out-of-pocket fees. And that could save you up to $600. Only a true home appraisal will get you accurate valuation on your home. Call now for your free appraisal.
866-66-FASTER. You got the green light.
Nation Star Mortgage, LLC, DBA Greenlight Loans. Rate based on 180 monthly payments of $7 per thousand. Not all applicants qualify. Must apply for a free appraisal. Full disclosure at greenlightloans.com. Loans made pursuant to a California finance lender license NMLS 2119, Equal Housing Lender. Call 866-66-FASTER now.
You got the green light.
Parking space 105A. To many, it's just 130 square feet of publicly allotted tarmac. Unless you own a 2015 Mercedes-Benz CLA. With its muscular, seductive look and distinctive diamond block grille, that parking space is transformed into a stage that showcases to others what groundbreaking style can be. And as you pull away, thanks to the turbocharged inline-4 engine, parking space 105A transforms again, this time into a launching pad. See the world differently. See it in a CLA from Mercedes-Benz. See your Southern California Mercedes-Benz dealer and lease the 2015 CLA 250 for $329 a month for 36 months with $3,723 due at signing.
Monthly lease payment is available only to qualified customers exclusively through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services at participating dealers through March 2nd, 2015. Some equipment described as optional. Call 1-800-344-8736 for details about cost and terms.
LAX is having some work done. Terminals, roadways, and parking structures are being renovated. So pack your patience and plan ahead with tips and traffic info at laxishappening.com.
Where the Newswatch never stops. Always live and local. This is KNX 1070 News Radio.
Good morning, I'm Dick Felton.
And I'm Vicki Moore. Some of our top stories.
2 freeways now affected by that deadly crash in Monterey Park. We've got the latest.
And the tent is up. Some streets already shut down in Hollywood for the upcoming Academy Awards.
It is Monday, February 16th. Here's what's happening now at 7:30.
It's been a big problem this morning. It was a gruesome scene on the East 60 in Monterey Park. And now, not just the 60s affected, but the 710. Let's get the very latest live from our traffic anchor this morning. That's KNX 1070's Desmond Shaw.
Yeah, seeing that chain reaction effect here with this wreck that looked like something out of a bad Hollywood movie. A couple of cars that got into it. One of them was sheared in half, and both of them burst into flames. Someone was killed in this wreck, and somebody else was injured. This was the eastbound 60 at Atlantic, and at this point, it's just the right lane of the main line and the far right collector lane that is open that goes over to Atlantic. But arguably, the delays are even worse on the 710, which is now backed up out of Commerce. And of course, we have the alternates for you here live in the traffic center. Desmond Shaw, KNX 1070 News Radio.
Well, still nearly a week before the Oscar ceremony coming up next Sunday evening, but Hollywood Boulevard already shut down. Let's go live to the scene. KNX 1070's Pete Demetrio.
Hollywood Boulevard basically is getting a facelift in preparation for the big night. The closures actually began last night at about 10 o'clock in the evening. Right now, Hollywood Boulevard closed between Orange Drive and Highland. That's going to remain in effect until 6 in the morning on February 24th. That is Tuesday. Now, you've already got the south and north sidewalks closed on Hollywood Boulevard between Orange and Highland. You've already got some pedestrian sections. Some of the sidewalks here on Hollywood Boulevard that have been shut down will be closed completely by next Friday. That's when everything really shifts into high gear. But for now, the fences are already up. Some of the drapes are already up, if you will, on the areas blocking the view of what's going on. And the workers are already starting to build the tent that is going to cover the red carpet that stretches all the way into the theater where the Oscars will happen on October 22nd. It's basically 5 days to 6 days of frenetic activity for one 4 to 6 hour stretch. And the minute all the stars get in, they start to break it down. Reporting live on Hollywood Boulevard where the traffic isn't too chaotic yet. I'm Pete Demetrio, KNX 1070 News Radio.
That's what it sounds like. If you want to see what it looks like, you can check out my Twitter feed at Vicki Moore News. Jeff Ball was flying overhead, sent us a very nice photo, and it's also on KNX 1070's Instagram page. It's being called one of the biggest cybersecurity breaches ever. Seems like we say that a lot, but they just keep getting bigger. This time up to $1 billion stolen from 100 banks in 30 countries. Dick talked about it this morning with Christopher Doggart of Kaspersky Labs, which is investigating the theft.
We're looking at a large group of well-organized cyber criminals that were based in Russia, China, and a few other European countries.
Says the hackers artificially created money at the banks and then transferred it out. It appears the hackers were not targeting individual depositors.
So the weather on the East Coast, particularly around Boston, has been so cold and so snowy over the last several weeks, there's not a lot to be excited about anymore. Unless it's thunder snow.
Oh, yes! 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 We got it, baby! We got it! We got it! Woo!
For lack of a better analogy, we are getting absolutely pimped on right now.
Listen to that! Listen to that!
That's Jim Cantor at the Weather Channel, just getting all excited about the thunderstorm that was in sometime during the midday yesterday. As we said, Boston, though, another mess, several more inches of snow falling on it, and the mayor there,
housed about 500 homeless folks that have been on a consistent basis probably over the last 3 weeks for the most part. And tonight we're open again to try and get as many homeless people, anyone that's on the street, off the street.
In Denmark this morning, the Prime Minister defiant after the deadly shootings over the weekend at a free speech event at synagogue. Speaking in Copenhagen, she remembered the 2 men who were murdered and said Denmark will not stand for any erosion of free speech or liberty.
We have received so many expressions of warm sympathy and support from leaders around the world. And we have received thoughts and expressions of solidarity from people all over the world.
Egypt mourning the beheading of 21 Coptic Christians. The military there going after the ISIS rebels who claimed responsibility. They're going after them in Libya. CBS News reporter Edward Uranian is in Cairo.
The UN Security Council is going to debate, apparently, what to do in Libya within the coming hours.
Believed about 50 ISIS militants were killed in the attacks today.
So we had this big problem on the 60. Also have a problem this morning on Sepulveda over by the airport. A lot going on for a holiday. KNX News Time, 7:35.
Traffic and weather together on the 5 brought to you by Downtown LA Motors Mercedes-Benz. Here's Desmond.
Certainly caught me by surprise how crazy this morning is shaped up to be. The big signal alert is going to be the eastbound side of the 60 before Atlantic, the right lane of the main line, and the exit lane, the collector lane as we call it, the exits there at Atlantic is all that is open. The rest of the main line blocked. This is a investigation to a wreck that saw someone killed in a really dramatic wreck about an hour and a half ago. The westbound, we briefly had lanes blocked as well. All lanes open westbound, though. It looks like you're okay on the westbound 60. It's the 710 that is really taking on the chin because of this. Northbound 710 out of Commerce back from the 5 freeway. You want to exit either at Atlantic, Bandita before it, or Olympic, and then use the Atlantic on-ramp to the eastbound 60 is going to be a much better bet for you. And if it is so grueling on the eastbound side of the 63rd Street there that parallels, that's a pretty good bet. You could rejoin the freeway there at Atlantic. And then the issue on Sepulveda is going to be northbound Sepulveda between Century Boulevard and the 105, where we had a wreck there that had at least one lane blocked, and it's terrible. On Sepulveda, trying to get to the airport, you could be late for your flight, so you want to use aviation and get into the airport via aviation and Century Boulevard that way. Let's check in on the out in the Inland Empire now with Scott Bird. He's out in the Riverside area in KNX Air 1070.
Well, we're the 215 from the 210 all the way down toward the Riverside interchange, and it looks great. And really everything to and through the Riverside interchange, 6215 and 91 in good shape.
And over to Jeff Baugh. He's taking a look at your 118 headed between Simi and the San Fernando Valleys.
It's just wonderful. It really is. No problems to warn you about up and over the hill into the San Fernando Valley. We urge you, though, don't take it for granted when it's this good. Watch your speed. Be careful.
Traffic and weather together on the 5s. Next reports at 7:45 from your Southern California traffic leader, KNX 1070 and CBSLA.com.
The sun is coming out here in Southern California, so not a bad day shaping up. Let's go live over to CBS 2, and good morning once again to Evelyn Taft.
Good morning, Dick, and good morning, Vicki. A really nice day on our hands today. A little bit of fog in the forecast, though quite dense over the basin and over parts of the coast. Long Beach looking at pretty dense fog, but starting to lift out a little bit over the South Bay as well. We do have a dense fog advisory in effect for Orange County for the coast until 8 o'clock this morning, so just another 25 or so minutes to go. Otherwise, expecting again 60s, 70s, a few 80s. Keeping temperatures a little cooler into tomorrow, warming them up again by the end of the week, and then cooling down just by a few degrees as we head to the weekend. Minor fluctuations, though. We're really just expecting 60s, 70s, and 80s pretty much all week long. I'm CBS 2 meteorologist Evelyn Taft with your exclusive KNX 1070 News Radio forecast.
Coming up in 10 minutes or so, we're going to be talking measles.
Measles, yes, and apparently a lot of people just don't know what the symptoms of measles are. There's even some doctors that don't know what measles are because they've never been confronted with them. It's such a rare disease in this country anymore.
I have my relatives calling me, and they're saying, should I get a shot? Should I get a shot? I don't know. Should I get a shot? And I'm like, I don't know.
No.
So.
Have you got measles around you? Do you look where measles are close?
Yeah, well, that's it. But a lot of people say that. It's like, because you don't know, like, well, did I have measles as a kid? Do I need to get the shot now? What's the deal?
And did you have the right kind of measles when you were a kid? Because there's different kinds of measles.
Exactly.
Who knows? Well, let's see if we can shed a little light on that.
Shed a little light, yes, coming up in just a few minutes here. Also, your money news, that's coming up next. KNX News Time, 7:38.
Since 1970, downtown LA Motors has made thousands of car buyers happy.